Hi YouTube. I hope you're doing all right. I'm doing okay. I'm gonna share with you a link, or you can go to a time for a judgment, and he's talking about the um oh, how did he word it? The secret covenant to kill all of us. So yeah, I mean, there's more than just that in his uh than what's in the title. A lot of times it's hard to pick a title because there's so much stuff going on. So I was thinking too, they're spouting things. Some of their terminology is like neo-Nazi, like the new global young, um, I would call impressionable people that are like maybe now they're labeling them like white neo Nazis, is what I heard a clip from Joy Behart from The View say. And, spouting her anti Semitic crap because whether we have roots from Israelites or whatever, Syrian or whatever, those type of, it doesn't matter. All of us are kind of like our ancestors are maybe like um even some Egyptian Jews are very dark skinned and have African roots, and um the fascination with Egypt and their Book of the Dead, and what really hasn't ended for the people that are in control of Israel right now, because the swastika and their star that they call the Star of David. David didn't have a star. That was the North Star. That was the Messiah's, period. But anyway, on to the facts here. The difference between a neo Nazi or a real Nazi. That's like Hitler's, we'll say, like Slavic, Polish, Jewish bloodline, which was his mother, who he hated, or the other part of his bloodline, which was the German, which um by all rights are like the Phoenicians going into like the Romans going into like England, and those that conquered that area, all a part of the same dark cabal still today. The real Nazis are the ones that call themselves Jews but are not. And okay, so then I saw a whiny ass post that, and to my fair weather friends, my fair haired friends, I love you. Being lighter colored is beautiful on you. So don't take anything I'm saying as any. This was a meme that I saw, and my response. There it was spouting about how the people of the United States of America, the white people, were going to become a minority in their own country. Oh, okay, that's nice. Many of us in this country are of mixed heritages and bloods, and we're sick of their damn labels. Well, and I put on there, why don't you ask the people of the first nation first, you know, um, how they feel about being genocided because they were the first ones to be murdered off. So they're fully aware, you know, of how that goes. In other words, really, white people, it's not you that they're trying to kill in particular, it's all of us, except their family blood ties. So, which go, uh, there's little islands like around Romania, Transylvania, and these aren't just myths. And there's like Polish royalty that went into even the Americans, and some of them became like Quakers, and there was and went up into like Denmark, and were like Pennsylvania Dutch coming into the Americas like that. But these were mixed heritages a lot of the times from the East Coast moving on westward. And I can follow my bloodline from like overseas all the way over here and all around, which is really unique if any of you have had the opportunity to do that. So, um, my point being is they have tried to hide, literally tried to hide from God's people, who are now exposing them in every area that they are, and all their cronies that work with them and for them. It's our ulterior motive, or moda operandi, MO, to come after them and expose them everywhere we find them. And that's what's going on. And there is going to be no place they can run from facing justice of the people in the most legal manner that we can implement towards them. I mean, they're not people that are going to really worry about treaties in United Nations and human rights and all these things that are actually supposed to be guarded and guided by our the people in power. So yeah, then we have to do it ourselves. We have to remove this. It's more than draining the swamp, because there's it's not just in the government, it's everywhere. It's in our little towns, it's the grocers. Now it's everybody. If you want to work, they're going to make you bend over backwards for Satan to do that. And taking God out of your life and out of your family for the future, that's their goal. If they can take all goodness and hope out of you, they won. If your child never thinks that I'm immortal as long as I do what God asks me to do in my heart, I'm going to be healthy and live forever with happiness, to take that possibility away from that child and make it sound like it isn't true. Make it sound like any time that you asked God for help, you actually got help, even if you didn't see it right away. You know, it's these people that don't get their way right away that'll jump on impulse and point the finger at God and say, see, you're not a loving God. You didn't answer my prayers. Well, maybe He did and you just didn't notice. Or maybe you didn't wait long enough for a response that things, it's not like a takeout service, like you go in, or a drive through. Hey, God, I demand this right now. And if I don't get my way today, I'm going to call the manager. The manager you're calling is Satan. When you don't abide by the tenderness in your heart, you're abiding by the other guy. So, and they don't want you to distinctively know that. Without a doubt, they don't want you to have that strength of faith like I have, without a shadow of a doubt. No matter what these freakazoids try to put me through, they are not going to bend me or sway me or break my faith. No way, no how, not ever. I've had Doug say things to me like, But if they tortured you little bits at a time, and I go, you know what you need to do is shut, you know, stuff like that I hear often. And I'll let a lot of it go, but some days it's like, something needs to be said here. So that's usually the type of response he'll get. I thought it was just hilarious last night in a sad way, but comical nonetheless. He has a friend, Dave, that talks really loud. He's a super big guy, and his voice is big too, and I can just like hear him, even if I'm in another room with the door shut and he's on the phone. I can hear his conversation. And one time, like a couple weeks ago, our some of our tobacco stuff had gotten stolen out of our truck over at their house. And Dave's like, "What about that girl?" And I didn't say nothing. Then later I said, I thought you were over there while Dave was sleeping on the couch, not some girl. And he starts talking like, "Oh, I don't even know her," and blah 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 and blah blah. It's a friend of Dave's he's letting stay there. His daughter that is on heroin, so the poor thing was laying there while some grody old thing was thinking inappropriate like he does constantly, because you can read its mind. I mean, it's simple. It's, you know, yucky. And so last night, Dave calls and I hear him over the phone. He's like, they're talking about something. I don't know what it was, because we're going to borrow Dave a truck. They're working on a ball joint to get that on the road for him until he finds another vehicle. And he wants to buy a different truck, a diesel that we have from us, but he only has a four-wheeler right now, and he needs a vehicle to work. And he's done favors for us too. So I heard him say last night, he's like, "You know me, and I believe in God," and he says this very loud, "And I don't believe in adultery." He said, "Name like three things. I believe in God and Jesus Christ, and I don't believe in adultery." And I'm in the other room and I'm just sort of laughing to myself. Well, today he came over and Doug asked him if he wanted a cup of coffee before they went out and started working. So I come out in the kitchen and behind them, and I was kind of thinking, I wonder what I can just give Dave, some kind of snack or something, just to show my appreciation, because I usually would ask Doug, "Would you like me to get you and your friend something?" Or under circumstances like today, I'll just take it upon myself because I will pay for it later. But I went in the refrigerator and got like 4 chunks of pizza that were left that I had made, and asked him if he wanted one. And I warmed it up for him. And I usually don't even do this for Doug, but I mean, I do cook for him and put food on the plate, but little different. And so I warmed it up for him, and then I asked Doug if he'd wanted some, and they have pizza together. But that was my peace offering, like, because one time I was sort of mad at him because I borrowed him money, and then he was mad when he had to pay extra back, because I told him it was going to cost him extra because I was making some kind of point, and he did catch it on the adultery thing. So, like, that is never going to be me. So, but he is a God fearing person, and never holds back from talking about God. Never. Not one time since I've known him. And that's been for, geez, now I'm going to say 31 years ago. I saw him for the first time. I was a dealer, and he'd come up to my table, and I dealt blackjack for him. So it's been that long. And then friends of mine, he had heavy equipment business, and a lot of my friends worked for him, so I've known him around the area for quite some time. So yeah, that was kind of comical. And then you see these posts, these people, they're like, after cheater, and even if I can't prove it, I don't care. Enough dirty things have happened that I don't even need any proof. It's just been beyond filthy and something that's just unacceptable type of things. Too many, too much. Even within, I mean, before we were married, maybe jokey jokey or maybe, but when you're with somebody, you really don't do that type of shit. It's like the flirty stage. These people are like, well, I'm just huggy you or I'm just flirty. No, you're a fucking hoe or a slut. Got it? Just be specific when you're um talking about your personality. Be truthful, you know. So, because people are going to get to know you and they're going to find out anyway, you know. And if you're like that, I mean, okay, that's part of what that meme was too. If the relationship started out with both of them having that in mind, that cheating wasn't an issue, then yeah, it could go back to the way it was. you know. Besides that, for me, it's a definite no. Nobody touches me. You cannot, not my life, deal with somebody else, even in your mind, and then come to me and lay with me. It's like, you're a stanky, nasty, dirty. Get, go away. Depart from me. Nasty ass bastards. Dude, men and women acting like that. I can't handle it. I cannot. I don't care where I am. I'll even be like, been at church and seen like these old rag bags lusting after the pastor or minister, whatever, like, or nuns. And I'm like, I can read your mind, you people. Yuck. Get, yo, yuck. It's like, God help me. Where did you put me? And why did you put me here? Because this has never been my personality and this is not me. And I didn't do nothing. So what do you want from me? Oh, we want you to help your sisters and your brothers. Is that right? Wow. Oh, here's something that I thought was cool. Like over on Bruce Sees All, the mods, and now they accepted me in the family, were Sisters of Swartz. I thought of something for the guys over there. Your bros, brothers of, or brofs, that would be brofs. That would, no, brothers of Swartz. Yeah, bros. No, the R doesn't fit in there. Well, of Swartz, so sure, BRO, Brothers of Swartz, sure it fits. So, bros, yeah, broses. So, yeah. But anyway, it's been a different day. One of them different ones. It's about 85 and breezy. It's pretty nice, actually. So, but it is nice to have I know who God sends his angels, and they're always there to help me no matter what. And you'd think, and I could see the astonishment on Doug's face when something like that happens, that I get rescued emotionally. You know, when that happens, that would really bother me if I was trying to tear down a person's confidence and self love. And there's no time that I ever wanted to harm myself that I didn't have self love or faith in God. It's just that the pain was so extraordinary that I just really physically did not think I could handle anymore. So physical and emotional and spiritual, total witchcraft. So, yeah, I still won't back down. Not ever. Not in a million years. And I won't be harming myself either. Ever. I said I considered it, you know, but luckily God saved me a bunch of times too, you know. Stupid things. 40-pound rock off of a 4,000-foot cliff, and I went with it and said an instant prayer, and my ex grabbed me, but the look on his face, he did not want to do it. But there was witnesses there, a couple of our logging buddies, and we were up on some old logging roads, you know. So yeah, otherwise, I think I would not be here. Just out of the pure fact that he had killed before and it wasn't a big deal, you know. Ever been dumb enough to know that somebody has murdered or killed and overlooked it like it wasn't an issue? You know, depending on how they acted after they did that deed and why they did it. I don't know that that's even a pertinent issue that wouldn't even pertain to that. Not in society, not in the laws of the land. So, but the laws of the land, whose land and whose laws? There's what we have to ask. The laws of man? No, it says in the scriptures, the correct translation is the laws of the land. Robert Seffer had a really good, uh, it was about, or did I share that? I might have shared it. I think I did, yes, by the way. If not, he had a really good one on Polish heritage. Oh, yes, I did. It was the dragons. Yeah, I did. I just had that on my mind anyway. It's like that heritage is always on my mind, you know. And they were good families and bad families in that area of the world that had been even relations that fought a lot of them old European wars and those type of things. So power and money, sometimes over people, individuals, or but whatever the power entailed. Just like oh, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know where I was going with any of that. I was thinking of that song Tiger by the Tail and going to correlate it like having a dragon by the tail, but that's not quite the same because I couldn't even battle these monsters without God in my heart at all. And all the help of the teamwork of everybody out there, out here, all of you. That's why I love you so much because you're there when I need you. Hopefully, I'm there when you need me, and that's our teamwork efforts. And yeah, and I appreciate all that, even if it's stopping in, saying hi, giving me a thumbs up, even whatever, how tiny just a watch is the biggest thing to me. You know, the smallest effort helps everybody. So, no matter who the strongest warriors are, we better recognize them and support them out here on these platforms because these are the people like a time for judgment is always been a warrior for the kids out here, and it's not no joke. He's not backing down. He's got a few things that I kind of don't necessarily always agree, but when it comes to God and children and family, we're on board in the same boat, no doubt. We'll be there's many mansions, and I think he's a neighbor in the house in God's house. There's many mansions. So yeah, yeah. I think that's really all about that was on my mind because then, I was talking about like how it used to be in like 1947 they sprayed DDT. It shows there's a photo of them spraying children in a pool with insecticide, and in Brazil they got caught doing that recently. But if you look into Lufthansa Airlines and their contract with California Airlines and other ones in the United States and around the world, they are literally dumping waste products that are deemed um, uh, toxic. It's not just some of their other things like they found bio things or black goo or none of that. It's not. These are heavy metals and poisons of so many sorts and manners. You wouldn't even be able to fathom it. But it's true. So then talk about Nazis or Nancy's. Why are why do we have a contract with Germany to dump pollution with their airlines and contracting our airlines to dump pollution on the people in the United States and around the world? And this is all true what I'm saying. It's called Lufthansa, Hansha. So, um, just look up Germany, red sky, because Luft, like 99 red balloons go by, it's Luft, red, Hansa means sky. So Lufthansa airline or corporation, and it's a corporation, and they have corporated with I don't know if it's like TSA or the big ones or I can't recall the actual contract right now, but I could look it up and it is out there. But what I'm saying is actually true. They have not stopped doing this. It's just more in disguise now, or the skies, like satellites, perhaps, or I don't know. I really don't know. So anything too can be pretty much used as a biofuel. And so if they were shooting waste using the waste itself as a rocket propelled um, uh, device that would just explode at the end of our atmosphere, which would be what is hemisphere, stratosphere. I used to know all them, but you know what I'm talking about, like the layers of our atmosphere. When it hits the end of that, and then the pollution will be out there regardless, still in our hemisphere, you know. So hemis, indicating hemispherical, meaning round, enclosed like a hemi motor. Um, the head of the motor, like okay, like a Mustang, a new Mustang It's called a show motor, or a SHO. It's a all aluminum head, like hemispherical is what it is. And all the components of the head of the motor is enclosed inside, aside from a different type of motor that some of the mechanics on the top of the motor called the head is exposed. So it's not enclosed. It's so it's not hemispherical like that. So there is no universe, is what I'm telling you. There's the cosmos and the heavens and galaxies, but universe is not. This is something like you'll see universal pictures, or go to the university, you're intelligent, and that's still like they're trying to imply that God is more than one. The Spirit of God, the entity, the Almighty that is alive and can walk in mankind, one person at a time, or all of us. Not just the spirit, but everything that is his creation. But I'm telling you, we're hemi-spiritual, partly round, in a partly round. We're flat. It's like a snow globe. It really is. So, but they have a base too and a bottom. What's under there or what's out of there doesn't make anything a universe, because these freaks cannot get out of here, and that's what they're using our bodies for, and that's a big fail for them. So, well, I'll leave it there, my friends. You're lovely. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you with all my heart. I hope your weekend's going beautiful. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at.